On this week's episode of What's Up Weekly, a father remembers his dancing daughter with a ballet production at IU.
And what do you get when you mix Valentine's Day with a singer-songwriter? A serenade of love songs that will make your heart skip a beat. You're watching What's Up Weekly. Hello, and welcome to What's Up Weekly. I'm Charlie Rabeski.
And I'm Kendall Yankowski. Last Thursday, Assembly Hall was packed for the women's basketball matchup against Maryland. Before the game, the LGBTQ+ Alumni Association hosted Pride Night. This was the 7th annual Pride Night, celebrating the LGBTQ+ community. Participants had a bird's eye view of Assembly Hall from the Spirit of 76 private suite, where they ate, drank, received door prizes, and listened to speakers.
We like to put out the welcome mat for gay people, and so by having an event at Assembly Hall here in the basketball arena tonight, gay people know not only are they welcome, but we have a special program for them and their allies and their friends.
Over 150 participants joined to celebrate Pride Night 2020.
Nearly a year after the sudden death of Rafaela Stroik, a professional ballerina and graduate of the IU Jacobs School of Music, Stroik's parents plan to commemorate her life in the best way they know how, through dance.
Ballerinas at the Jacobs School of Music leave their legacy on the stage here at the Musical Arts Center. But no one's legacy is quite like Rafaela Stroik's.
It was delightful to know her and to have her with us for almost 24 years, and we're honored to have known her, and she changed our lives for the good, and I think, based on what people have told me, she changed many lives for the good.
Stroik, a graduate of the ballet program here at the Jacobs School of Music, passed away unexpectedly last year while taking a private retreat to Mark Twain State Park in Missouri.
Stroik starred in ballets like The Nutcracker and Swan Lake during her time at IU, and you'll be seeing her name again in the next few years, but this time in lights.
Stroik's parents are commissioning a ballet to be performed at IU about her life. It will be called A Ballet for Rafaela.
So what better thing to do than to remember her with a ballet? I don't know how else to, share her life or her love with others than to do this.
Duncan, Rafaela's father, has been working with the ballet theater faculty here at IU to put together the ballet.
Who better to turn to for advice than to the esteemed faculty at IU, which are some of the best faculty and dancers and finest ballet department in the country at a university.
The family organized a GoFundMe to help pay for the ballet. Duncan hopes to make his daughter proud with the work that he creates.
We're trying to bring some life out of the death of Rafaela. We're trying to bring hope out of sadness. And what better to have a joyous, loving ballet named after Rafaela Marie Stroik.
To donate in support of the ballet, you can visit the GoFundMe page called A Ballet for Rafaela. The Stroik family hopes to raise $250,000 to support the ballet.
Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and to get into the spirit, we have Hank, Ruff, and Daniel Deckard in studio to perform Thomas Rhett's song, Die a Happy Man, and an original song called Long May the Fire Burn. Daniel and Hank, take it away.
1, 2, 3, 4. The rising summer sun, sparkling in the morning dew. Ain't it good to be alive, be almost over you? Now when I hear you knock, 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 and my heart's closing doors, I just turn the music way up loud. I don't want you anymore. I knew I was playing with fire, loving you. I was a fool to think that you would ever be true. But the day is gonna come when it's gonna be your turn, and then long may the fire burn. Baby, I was drawn to you like a moth to a flame. I ignored all the warnings, guess in some ways I'm to blame. It's a powerful thing to hold somebody's heart right in your hand. But a heart's not a toy, and someday, baby, you'll understand. I knew I was playing with fire, loving you. I was a fool to think that you would ever be true. But the day is gonna come when it's gonna be your turn, and then long may the fire burn. Did me wrong. I wouldn't want anyone to go through. But there are lessons, girl, that can only be learned when someone breaks your heart in two. And you won't get no comfort from the hearts that you've strung along. And on the day that somebody breaks your heart, I'll be singing this song. I knew I was playing with fire, loving you. I was a fool to think that you would ever be true. But the day's gonna come when it's gonna be your turn, and then long may the fire burn. Oh, baby, last night was hands down one of the best nights I've had, no doubt. Between the bottle of wine and the look in your eyes and the Marvin Gaye, then we danced in the dark under September stars in the pouring rain. And I know that I can't ever tell you enough. All I need in this life is your crazy love. If I never get to see the northern lights, if I never get to see the Eiffel Tower at night, if all I got is your hand in my hand, maybe I could die a happy man. Oh, baby, that red dress brings me to my knees. Oh, but that black dress makes it hard to breathe. You're a saint, your goddess, the cutest, the hottest, the masterpiece. You're too good to be true, nothing better than you in my wildest dreams. And I know that I can't ever tell you enough. All I need in this life is your crazy love. If I never get to see the northern lights, if I never get to see the Eiffel Tower at night, oh, if all I got is your hand in my hand, maybe I could die a happy man. vacation, no fancy destination. Baby, you're my great escape. We can stay at home, listen to radio, dance around the fireplace. If I never get to build my mansion in Georgia, I drive a sports car up the coast of California. Oh, if all I got is your hand in my hand, baby, I could die a happy man. I said, if all I got is your hand in my hand, baby, I could die a happy man.
Now joining us on set is Hank Ruff and Daniel Deckard. You guys just performed at Bluebird, excuse me, this past weekend. What was it like performing at this insane venue that has hosted so many popular performers like John Mayer, Christina Perri, Kings of Leon, and, you know, so many more?
Yeah, it's so cool. We play there a lot. I've got a group called Hank Ruff and the Hellbenders. Daniel's a fellow Hellbender. Actually, we'll clarify real quick what a Hellbender is. It's a big salamander. Not many people know. Not many people know what a Hellbender is. It's like the largest salamander in the U.S. So that is the background of the band. There's some geographical relevance there.
Interesting.
But you know, we get to play there a lot, and it's super cool because I'll go see some of my favorite artists there, and then a week later we're on the same stage, you know, playing.
Awesome.
You know, I've seen some really big country artists, a guy named Morgan Wallen, who's really getting big right now. He played, and I went and saw him, and then, you know, the next week I was there on the same stage he was performing on. So it's super cool to get to do that, and when there's big crowds there, it's even cooler because the energy in that place is just, you know, unmatched to any other live venue here in Bloomington.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So you guys played an original song for us. Can you tell us a little bit more about that song? Where did it come from? How'd you come up with the lyrics?
Yeah, so actually, my dad and I wrote that song.
Oh, really?
Together, yeah. And he came up with the original idea. Long May the Fire Burn, his idea was to take that into, you know, turn it into kind of a revenge song, but not directly saying it. And I thought it was kind of cool because it's not completely dark because he's not directly saying, like, I hope you hurt, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of a more subtle, less mean way of saying it and saying what goes around comes around,
Right.
I guess. And I've only written a few originals so far, and that's kind of my favorite in terms of the idea of the story, and my dad kind of had a clever idea there coming up with that. And actually we recorded that song recently, so hopefully it'll be out on Spotify and Apple Music soon.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, we both loved it. I know
Yeah.
I can definitely speak for the people on the other side too. They all loved it too. But in addition to playing for your own band, Hank, you also play the guitar, mandolin, and sing vocals for for Clayton Anderson, who's also a Bedford, Indiana native. What propelled you to take on that role?
So how it ended up being was it was kind of crazy actually. So Bloomington South, I'm from Bloomington South, and they had their dance marathon kind of like IU does, but much smaller scale. And since Clayton's just a good guy, he was willing to play at their dance marathon. And I was a freshman here at IU, and one of my friends who was a senior still at South said, hey, Clayton is coming to play. I'll let you in, even though you don't go. So she let me in, sucked me in. She was on the exec, and I went to the show, and after they were done, I talked to his whole band and talked to him for a while, and I convinced him to let my band play at the Bluebird, open up for his show, because I knew he was coming there in a few months. And I showed him a quick video to show that we weren't terrible. I said, we don't suck. And he followed through. He said he was going to have us open, and I thought he was saying it just to be nice.
Right.
And he followed through, and we opened that show. And then about a month and a half later, I was sitting on a Tuesday doing Spanish homework, and Clayton, he was calling me, and I was like, what could possibly this be about? And he needed a band for that Friday for the IU dance marathon, which was last year's IU Dance Marathon, and he said, "Can you put a band together in 3 days and play my set of songs?" And at the time, I was thinking, "There's no way we can do this," but I said, "Yeah, we can do it." And I got him to play bass, and then I got a friend who's a drummer, and we pulled it off. We did it, and I guess he enjoyed what we did. So, yeah, and then after that, I guess he needed a band, and we were there.
So tell me a little bit about how did you guys start playing together and start this band together? How did you?
We started it. We met in high school, so we're around the same age, and I've known him my freshman year. He would have been a sophomore. And we just started out playing at our talent shows in high school, and then we started playing around the Bluebird and different other venues, and yeah, that's basically how it's all started.
Right, kind of making your beginnings together.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it started all the way in high school. It was cool.
Yeah.
And last question, you guys. Hank and Daniel, where will you guys be next? Where are you going? So
where
that
can
we
our
tell?
viewers find you?
Yes, where can we find you?
There's a good chance we will be playing at. We don't. It's not a set date right now. We normally pick them up, pretty last minute because things are always hectic, and the Bluebird always has a lot of things scheduled. But there's a good chance that we will be playing at the Bluebird sometime within the next month. And the best way to do it is if you like our Facebook page.
Okay.
Hank, Ruff, and the Hellbenders. We have a Facebook page, and we put all our shows on there. And yeah. So
awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in and giving our viewers an amazing performance. You guys can visit his band page on Facebook, like he just said.
Now let's take a look at what's coming up next. On Trending Topics, Kendall and I have you covered for an Oscars recap. We will talk fashion surprise winners and the top performances of the night.
And we'll tell you why a popular event at IU isn't so popular in national news.
That's right. Stay with us. Well, the Oscars were on Sunday, and if you didn't tune in, you missed out. Parasite made history when it won Best Picture, the first non-English speaking film to win. The South Korean film was also recognized for Best International Feature Film, Best Directing, and Best Original Screenplay. I'm really hoping this is available on Netflix soon so I can check it out.
Yeah, and another big moment of the night was Brad Pitt winning Best Supporting Actor for his role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood after his past 3 nominations didn't end in a victory, and the performances were quite a range of genres, including appearances by Eminem, Elton John, and Janelle Monáe. Excuse me.
Lastly, the show did not have a host. The show started out with a comedic monologue by Chris Rock and Steve Martin, and each award after was presented by celebrities like Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Will Ferrell, and countless others, which I think worked just as well as having a traditional host.
Definitely. And also happening this week is New York Fashion Week. It started on the 3rd but continues until the 12th of February. And so far, the trends for fall 2020 have been continued minimalism, blurring gender lines, and leather.
And although the models are, of course, a huge part of this week, I think we definitely have to recognize an unsung and unexpected hero. Yeah. Bill Nye, the science guy, yes, you heard me, that is right, is going viral for his walk at the Blue Jacket fashion show.
You know, I saw the video on Twitter, and he has a strut to him.
Oh, most definitely. He could have done modeling for sure as his only career. Yeah.
And finally, IU made international news, but not for the best reasons. Videos were posted online from IU's Sex Fest by an IU Student Government Congress member. He says the event promotes sexual violence.
IU defended the event as a whole, but the final event that was planned for Thursday was canceled that morning after the university learned of a disruption that was planned for the event. It was not made clear what exactly the disruption was or who gave the tip, but it was allegedly from a credible source.
Yeah, and although this year's event caused a lot of controversy, it was the 5th annual Sex Fest that the university has sponsored.
And that's what's up this week. Tune in next week for more local and entertainment news.
And don't forget to follow us on social media to find out what's up throughout the week.
For What's Up Weekly, I'm Charlie Robeski.
And I'm Kendall Yankowski. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.